welcome to the channel talking all things Zelda. So I was in the middle of making a video on theories about Try the Fairy, and the new Echoes of Wisdom trailer drops out of nowhere. Not that I'm complaining, as it's provided me with the opportunity to bring some more theories your way, taking a different direction in each. It's also great to see more on the highly anticipated return of Deku Scrubs, especially as they're really fleshing them out, alongside some of the other races, and using the newly presented and fantastic details in this traversing Hyrule trailer in conjunction with the new gameplay opportunities these will naturally bring about. I thought it could be fun to look at 3 different types of theory over the next few weeks. This first video will focus on a new story theory, then I'll follow up with a gameplay theory, and the final video will be a really interesting world theory I've pulled together, so make sure you have notifications turned on for when that drops. Each theory should at least get you thinking about the exciting possibilities that lay ahead. I'm also working on an interesting concept for Echoes of Wisdom just for fun, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already to see what I've managed to concoct. Let's get stuck in then with a look at what the new trailer means for the story. And for this segment, the ending of the trailer deserves our focus, specifically when Zelda and Tri are willing to jump into a portal that appears in one of the rifts. Tri even purifies the portal to enable the pair to safely travel to what we can assume is a form of dark or parallel world. Let's call it the Dark World for now. Before I get on to the main part of the theory here, there are clearly lots of things this could be. The Sacred Realm, for example, though I doubt this will be the case. It could be a dimension or parallel universe akin to Hyrule or the Twilight Realm, whereby not all of its inhabitants are necessarily evil. Sure, we will be encountering mini-incarnations of Ganons or Moblins, but these are likely the creations of an evil puppeteer, expected to be Ganon, albeit there could be more at play here. The Twilight, for example, for the most part, were a peaceful race, so naturally there's a chance that the Dark World will be inhabited by some friendly characters. But in my view, the Rift World is most likely to be something completely new and not seen before in the series. Okay, theory time. As we've touched on, and to save Link, Zelda and Tri must jump into a series of unstable portals that appear in rifts scattered across Hyrule. As Zelda and Tri journey through these rifts, I suspect they will be searching for something specifically. I think they will be gathering fragments of Link's spirit that have been scattered across the Dark World by Ganon. And how will they go about this? Well, the Rift Dungeons, which may very well be the main form of dungeon in Echoes of Wisdom, could be distorted versions of well-travelled Hyrule locations. But I think they will add a touch of complexity to the story without overdoing it, as the development team will still look to align with this game's aesthetic and whimsical nature, while venturing deeper into the Dark World. However, as the story progresses, Zelda begins to suspect that Tri knows more about the Rift origins than she initially lets on. Eventually, it's revealed that Tri was once a part of Link's essence, or a previous hero to be more specific, split off by the sages in an age pass to help seal Ganon away, acting as the lock to keep the seal in place. I think the markings on Tri's face closely resemble a key, which makes sense because Ganon was essentially being kept under lock and key. It is Tri's guilt that prevents her from initially divulging this information to Zelda, as she feels it was because of her that the seal has broken in the first place. But as we all know from previous entries in the series, there is very little that can actually be done to halt the inevitable return of Ganon, in whatever guise that may be. And I'll come on to why in particular I don't think it was due to Tri's actions, or inaction shortly. Tri's connection to the Dark World here is both a blessing and a curse, giving her the power to open and purify portals within rifts, but also making her vulnerable to Ganon's influence because the parts of the Triforce are ultimately drawn together, and being part of Link's essence, she is for all intents and purposes symbiotic with the Triforce of Courage. Here's where this gets interesting, due to the fascinating reversal of roles this game is about to unleash upon us. A juxtaposition for the ages and a long-awaited chance for fans to see Zelda as the protagonist. So, in the heart of the Dark World, which will likely be in the same location as Hyrule Castle, Zelda must face Ganon. Ganon reveals that he plans to use Link as a vessel to fully merge the Dark World with Hyrule, and that luring him to save Zelda at the game's outset was always part of his plan. And here's the real kicker for Zelda and Link, which could be a lovely little twist. The version of Ganon we see in the first trailer, and the one that will pervade the opening cutscene, could have been a form of Echo, almost the equivalent to this game's version of a Phantom Ganon, and as such will be much weaker than the main antagonist, Ganon or otherwise. Trapping Link in the first rift was enough to break the seal and allow the evil rift manifestations the chance to escape into Hyrule. So it was the power of Link, and specifically the power generated from the Triforce of Courage splitting the fabric between the Dark World and Hyrule, that was required to ultimately allow Ganon the opportunity to escape the Dark World, rather than Tri's failures causing the erosion of the seal. The other possibility, of course, is that Tri is the part of Link's essence that manages to escape as Link is pulled into the first rift. But why would Ganon want to use Link as a vessel to merge the two worlds? My thinking here centres on the notion that Link is a constant beacon of light, by virtue of his actions or otherwise shining through to combat the darkness in Hyrule's darkest hours, always there to provide the Kingdom of Hyrule with hope when the situation seems most dire. And if Ganon is able to corrupt the best of Hyrule's citizens, the dedicated Hylian and unwavering hero, then the rest of the kingdom will surely succumb to the evil onslaught, with nothing or nobody left, and able to mount a defence and prevent the Dark World amalgamating with Hyrule. I don't intend to get into the timeline debate here, but if this is an experienced version of Ganon, he could be implementing a new approach in light of past failures, so focusing on Link rather than Zelda in order to bring his evil plans to fruition. But how will Zelda defeat Ganon here? Well, to defeat Ganon, it will require the combined power of the Triforce of Wisdom and the fragments of Link's spirit, now whole again following Tri and Zelda's quest, and being the Triforce of Courage. Both such factors combined will have the requisite power to vanquish and seal Ganon again. And as the Zelda team often like to include a heart-wrenching story point, I suspect with Ganon defeated, the Dark World begins to collapse because of the irreparable damage Ganon has wrought. Zelda and Link manage to escape through the last portal, but Tri remains behind, knowing her time was already limited, and the re-manifestation of Ganon's evil or malice had afforded her only a finite amount of time before being required to become the seal again. An alternative theory to the markings on her face being a key could instead suggest the presence of malice on her body, and to become the seal again, she will transform into a symbol of courage, shedding the malice in the process, and by virtue of the very act itself being courageous, by sacrificing herself to defeat Ganon, becoming the most powerful version of herself. So in a last act of defiance, Tri elects to dissolve into and purify the void, to ensure the Dark World and the evil that remains there is sealed forever. Back in Hyrule, Zelda and Link are reunited, but the experience has left them changed, knowing that the boundaries between dimensions are thinner than ever, and that their Kingdom of Hyrule remains safe because of the sacrifice of others. What do you think? Does this theory make sense against the backdrop of the series as a whole? Let me know in the comments below. And if you share my passion for all things Legend of Zelda, please help me out and hit that subscribe button. I've got lots of stuff planned, including the remainder of this series, some more interesting theories on Echoes of Wisdom. Thanks, have a good one, and catch you next time.